I gotta get one of those. Maybe I should get one of those director scene boards or whatever. That'd be kind of fun. I could have fun with that. I would like to get one of those, I think. And then with the little, where you could write the chalk on it for whatever take it is. Hopefully it's got enough room to write so I could like maybe write in the future, like if I've got a topic I was going to talk about, I could write that on it to be like, you know, God visited me yesterday, take one, you know. That'd be kind of cool. Where are we at on my gas gauge here? Okay, I'll let it run just a little bit longer here. At least I got a little bit. I'm doing a double benefit here by letting it run a little longer, even though I don't want to burn too much fuel. Now, if I knew I was going, it was earlier and I was going to go to the library or something, well, that'd be all right, because then I've got a purpose for going. Right now, I don't have a whole lot of justification for letting it run longer, other than I got the dash heat on high. It's warming the camper up, and it is currently, what is the temperature outside right now? Come on. Yeah. It is 10 degrees outside, and it's going to get down to 0 tonight, I guess. Yay. Yay. So I will be bundling up tonight. I did top off my diesel furnace. So what I'll probably do tonight, because I don't know, I used up the rest of that gift card, so I'll probably turn the furnace down to 68 maybe. Because at 68, as long as it's not too windy, at 68 it'll still keep it, you know, it'll keep it 58 degrees, 54 to 58, I'm guessing, in here. This morning when I had my unemployment hearing, I was pretty warm under the covers, but it had been really windy. We had like 45 mile an hour winds, and I think I had the furnace set at 70 because I knew it was going to be a cold night and heavy winds. So that's why I turned it up a little higher, because I knew it would probably get colder. And it was like 52 right behind the cab here where my bed is and stuff. So that means it was probably closer to, I think it was like 64 by the furnace towards the back. It was like 52 in the middle, and then up here, because I got curtains that are like kind of like sunblock out, long curtains that block it off, which helps keep this part divided, which makes it easier to heat back there. Up here it was 36 degrees when I opened it up to let light in to be ready for my unemployment hearing on the phone. So the temperature started dropping in here because I opened up the curtains to let light in so I could see better. And yeah, it was 36 degrees up here, and that started flooding back there, which started bringing my temperature down a little bit. So my fingers started getting a little stiff while I was on the phone with the hearing, and I'm trying to. That's one of the times I got emotional, because I'm trying to keep up with all the documents, and I'm trying to turn these pages, and my fingers were getting stiff. So it was frustrating. So I got emotional. But it is what it is. I'll get through it all, and things will get better. I know God has never let me down. I've been through other tough times in my life. I want to say this is a much harder tough time, but it's just a different tough time, because it ain't the same kind of circumstance, you know. So, but it sure feels like it's a lot tougher. Maybe it's because I'm older and the cold weather and stuff. But I know there's a reason for it. I know it'll get better. And I started getting off track again. I don't know if I've seen it in the last clip or not, but I started talking about how I know there's a reason for everything for this, and even with me not getting hired when I'm very intelligent, unless some of these places that I've interviewed, unless maybe they're intimidated or they think I'm overqualified or something, or I don't know. Maybe they're afraid I might take their job or something. But I'm just shocked that I have not been hired at places. So, because of my work history, my work ethic, my years that I've worked at each place shows that I don't just work at a place and leave it. 11 years is a pretty good record to work at a place. 2.5 years ain't too bad, for the foundry. But then again, the foundry is a super hard job, and I'm sure I could still be there at the foundry. If I've seen other people at that foundry, get fired and come back, and get fired and come back, and people that quit and come back, and all that stuff. So I know, because I worked really hard there, and I'll produce first shift almost every single day that I worked there. I had something to prove for myself, and I know I'm sure I could go back to work there, but that's way down south, and emotionally it's not healthy for me, because I feel more at peace up here and closer to the community. This is where the area where I helped my parents in the last 20 years of their life, so it feels more like home. And with my parents being gone and all these other people passed on, at least I feel more at home up here, and that's important. Stop the camera, but I probably shouldn't, because I want this to be real. And I was getting sidetracked again on my story, or where I was going. So I know there's a reason for all this. I start getting emotional there, so I apologize for that. And all the people that I have met while I've been in this situation, I believe I was supposed to meet all these people for wherever it is I'm going, because I think that I believe I'm destined for bigger things, big things. I sure hope so. I sure hope the Lord ain't taking me off this planet anytime soon, because I know I got a lot to offer this world. I've had some wonderful experiences. I'm a good man, and I think that I wouldn't hesitate to say I'm a good role model for people either, because I'm a good human being. And I think all the people that have been close to me in life have been thankful that they've got to know me or spend time with me, and I'm proud of that, and it makes me feel honored that I've affected a lot of people in positive ways. But back to my experience, I'm getting sidetracked again. All these people that I've met, like, God wanted me to have this experience, to meet these people that are having struggles that I think the majority of society doesn't have no clue how tough it is for some people. Even me, when I'm busy working, like when I was working at the foundry making money, I wasn't thinking about how hard it was for some of these people out here, And I have got had a total eye-opening experience to the struggles some people in this country are going through, in my area anyway. I can't say the whole country, because I haven't been traveling around the country yet. But that is part of what I feel is part of my calling, is I will be traveling around the country and helping people, and God will guide me to them. But I'm not in a position to do that right now. For what I feel I'm supposed to be doing in the future in my calling and stuff, and for my own, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, healing or contentment or whatever. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for at the moment, but I want to get a home base in this area, somewhere around this area within, so many mile parameter. This is where I feel I'm supposed to be and set up a home base to be. And then I want to start I want to keep my RV, because I wanted to do RV van life, and I was thinking I want to do it full time all the time, and I've done it full time for 3 years now in Minnesota through winter, so I've got a pretty good taste of the different challenges and stuff you're going through, and I'm still learning different challenges and stuff, but I know this is all part of whatever it is that's coming, because I've met even though I wanted to do RV van life, and I know that in the RV van life community, from all the videos I've watched through the years, researching it to be more prepared for this life, which helped me a lot for everything I'm going through. I knew there's a lot of people out there that were forced into it and ended up really liking it or feeling more free. There's people that have been forced into it that don't like it. There's people that choose it that like it and feel free. There's people that choose it that end up going back to what they call sticks and bricks, as nomads, living in a house or with a foundation. But this has been a good experience for me. I've met so many people, and I've met some that choose it and would prefer it. I got a friend of mine that I met here in this lot that is back in his apartment now, but I know, feel and believe that he prefers living the van life. Maybe feels more free in it, I think. Now had his situation been a little different, to be prepared for the winter cold and stuff, I do believe he would still be doing his van thing, so I hope he gets back to it, because if that's what makes him feel happier in life, I want him to have that, because he's a good man. I like him a lot. And he's got a good sense of humor too. We got a lot of similarities. Anyway, some of these people I've met are really struggling, man. And when I was working, even though I looked at van life, RV life, and seen the different situations of people that got put into it and stuff, until I just, the summer to into this winter has been a whole new learning experience for me, for the other people and the other struggles that are going on, because I've got to feel it more myself, not knowing where my next dollar is going to come from, worrying about, and now I started worrying about that before the winter came, because I knew winter would be coming. That makes it even harder. If it was summertime, what am I at for time here? Okay, so I got a couple more minutes. I don't want these videos getting too long. In the summertime, if it was summer right now, spring, summer, it'd be so much easier and so much cheaper, because I don't mind sitting still and you're not freezing. But in the winter, you don't want to freeze to death. You have to generate heat, Summer can be really brutal. It's actually, in some ways, it's easier to stay warm in the winter than it is to stay cool in the summer, because you can bundle up with extra blankets, and you can wear your clothes, your socks, your boots if you have to, or whatever, and then throw your blankets on over. You can bundle up and get heat. It's weird when it gets that cold, because even though you're warm underneath your covers, you can have your face area open, and you got this ice cold air you're breathing. I don't know, it's just a weird experience. But you can even kind of try to vent that and keep the blankets out further, so you got like a little tunnel, so the air kind of gets warmed. It's like a different temperature in between what you're breathing, so it's not as cold with your face being right out in the open, But then it's not as clean of oxygen either. You get more of your carbon dioxide with it. You kind of sense the difference in that. But anyway, I'm getting off track again. My heart goes out to some of these people that I've met, and people that I haven't met yet that I've seen that I know are living in their cars and whatnot, Like the guys that's right there now over there, I wanted to talk to them because they've dumped their garbage out on the ground a couple of times, and I wanted to talk to them, let them know, hey man, don't do that, gas station's right next door, go over there when you go to squeeze your windows or something, throw the stuff in the garbage at the gas station, because people start throwing their garbage out here, Walmart ain't gonna want no one staying here, if they're gonna leave all kinds of trash and all on, so I wanted to talk to them, and maybe they're just not thinking about it, maybe it's, bad habits, whatever, and there ain't no reason to scream or yell at them. But now if I talk to them nicely about it, and then if they kept doing it, well then it's a whole new ballgame, but because they might not even be thinking about it, because your whole frame of mind changes when you're in a tough situation. You can be growing up at home when you're younger, under your parents' roof, and not having to worry about certain things, and you could dream. You could be like, oh, as I grow up, or when I get older, in so many years, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You can have all these dreams and stuff, but let me tell you something. When life is beating you down, when you're trying to survive, it's hard to dream. Your mind is focused on moment to moment. You can't, it's hard to think out into the future in things you want to accomplish when your survivability is, I've got to figure out how to make it to tomorrow. You know, it's a whole new concept. So I think a good majority in our country, maybe throughout the whole world, you know, don't even know what that's like. And since I've been in this situation, I know people got it a lot worse than me. It's made me pay. I've been paying attention, because when I excel and get ahead, because I believe I will, I believe I'm destined to do bigger things. I want to help people so much. I've been putting together ideas on how to try to help homeless situations, and kicking around the math in my mind, and I've been looking at land and properties and stuff when I'm not feeling so crushed. I got to do that in time when I'm feeling more put together or feeling more positive, is when I'll start to get to dream a little bit about how I can help these types of situations. But then when life starts kicking the snot out of me, like when the temperature plummets, you know, like when we got last couple of weeks, I got to start thinking about making some more videos and getting some done, because we're in double digits, you know. And at night I could sleep and it would stay a nice comfortable 65 degrees in here or whatever, you know. And but then when these temperatures drop, and I can tell just by how my thought process goes, I forget all about the stuff I was thinking about for the future and different ideas, how to help homeless communities or help people that are struggling. And that temperature drops, all this planning I was doing came right back to myself, because it's like, whoo, it's cold. Okay, I got to turn the heater up. It's still the wind. We got strong winds coming, and my furnace is having a hard time keeping up. You know, I have to crank it up a little higher tonight. And then I got, you know, at one point I spent $4 and something on some painter's drop plastic and hung it on each side where my bigger windows are to create a temperature barrier in there. So it's like a double pane window to make it a little more insulated in here, and it helped a lot, because you feel the cold air coming off that window. Like just when the roller shade was up, you could just feel the cold coming right off the window on your back and stuff. Well, when I rolled the shade down, that makes a big difference. You notice that too. But then when I got that plastic in there, that made a bigger difference. And then that while I'm creating the plastic barrier, it also makes a smaller area, little bit smaller area for the furnace to try to keep up heat. And so it has helped quite a bit. But even with all that, you know, I'm still at 54 degrees the other night or whatever, when the winds are really howling. Well, I'm getting along here. So my point is that when I was working and stuff, just like anybody that might be watching this video, there's might be people that are watching this video that have a job and an income and an apartment, a house or whatever, and are warm every night, you know, and have food on their plate and stuff, you know. I ain't worried for food. I've been doing fine for food. I haven't been going hungry or anything like that. But then when I was working, I didn't think about none of this either. But now that I've been living it opens your mind up to a whole different way of life, and you start relating with other people that are going through stuff, and you see it on a different level. So all I can ask you as a viewer is to try to imagine what that's like. You know, unless you've been through tough stuff. If you've had to live in your car, or live on the street, or been homeless, or had to pitch a tent somewhere, or especially if you're in the cities, you know, even if you got a tent, you got to think, where can I pitch a tent that people aren't going to see me, that I could maybe feel safe, or that I ain't going to get chased away from, or whatever. You know, these are things that people go through, you know. And even me in this camper, I worry about my fuel. Where am I at here now? I should be paying attention to that. Because I feel like I have to keep at least enough fuel in here. Well, to stay warm too, but to be able to move. If I'm sitting in one spot too long, well, odds are you're going to get towed away, you know, and you lose your house, you know. And this is my house right now. This is my everything, you know, and it is my shelter. Thank the Lord for my mother making me put my name on this, because she worried that, you know, family situations would happen, that my brother might do some of the mean stuff he did do, and he did, and not to get into that whole deal, but I should have had. I took care of my parents over the last 20 years. My brother ain't been nowhere around. He just owned the family, whatever. You'd see him periodically here or there, when he needed money or something, whatever. He's never really booked long-term drive or nothing. I don't want to get off on that. But anyway, I kind of got forced into this situation. Although I'm glad I was preparing for it. It's like God's destiny. I was getting ready to try van life, RV life. So I bought solar panels. I got this net. While I'm working, I'm trying to get this net. Yeah, it'd be fun. I want to try it. I kept putting it off. Life happened. My mom died. Ugly family situations. As we sit right now, my mom died right during COVID and stuff, and got COVID and her lungs filled with fluid and stuff. And that's what took her. Well, from that, my brother was awarded PR, put in charge of stuff because my mom didn't have a will. I got kicked out of the house. He's kept everything. We should have had it over $100,000 split. We're closer to 125. So altogether, maybe about $250,000 out. But anyway, over 100,000 a piece for sure. More. But I ain't seen not one penny of it. And if my mom didn't make me put my name on the title of this camper, my situation would be so much worse. And everything I believe happened for a reason. Even though I don't like what I'm going through and some of the stuff, I was more prepared. I had solar and stuff, and that has really helped me. There's a lot of people that don't have solar. I've got it. Like I said, I know there's people that got it worse than me. I have like a little, like somebody in an apartment that's living in an apartment might look at somebody that's got a mansion like, oh yeah, they got the big old nice house. But believe me, that person that doesn't want to be in a camper, that's forced into it, or that person that's in a car, might look at that person in the apartment like, man, they're living the good life, And the person that is in the car trying to survive might be looking at me, and I've seen it happen before. They look at me like, wow, he's got the nice setup, I wish I had that, And then the person that's living in a tent is probably looking at the person living in the car like, oh, I wish I had a car that I could live in, that I could, start up and turn on some heat, And then you got the person that don't have a tent that might be seeing somebody that, God, I wish I had that tent, it'd make my life that much better, So I hope you're following this journey with me, and I hope it helps you step outside of yourself to think about other people's situations, because that's what we need in this world, to help each other, but people, now then again, on that same aspect, people that have worked hard deserve the stuff they get because they busted butt for it, and that's understandable. But I hope that myself, as I go through life, luckily I believe that I've never been like, God, it's, and look at that guy over there, he sucks, that has never been me, I've always tried to help people, whatever, and I think in some ways that might have kind of hindered me or slowed me down a little bit, but I love it. I'm glad I'm where I am. But I hope that more people are able to get outside themselves and think about helping other people, even if it's just a little bit. Every little bit helps and spreads footprints, you help somebody, and it might give them the inspiration to help more people, So, a big old black limousine just pulled up in front of Walmart. I don't know who that is. It's a black limousine doing in front of Walmart in a snowstorm. Well, it ain't a snowstorm anymore, but I don't know what that's all about. Well, somebody could have been getting married or something, I guess. I think there's no graduations going on now. We got holidays. It ain't New Year's yet. 10 degrees outside. That's really nice. Anyway, I'm getting too long on this. This video's gotten way too long. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.